All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Jair Brown had a hamstring, didn't return, and Kittle had his Achilles. Go ahead.
It's really hard to win on the road in this league in the playoffs. What are you most proud of with your victory tonight?
So many things. I'm just proud of the guys, how hard they battled. I was just kind of staying in there. Having two linebackers who weren't on our team a month ago, and those guys playing that whole game and playing at a high level was so impressive. Having two turnovers and them having none and be able to still find a way to win that, I thought was huge. Losing Kittle early in the game just was obviously a depressing play for everybody when you see that. And guys stepped it up and still made plays and competed. And to find a way to win that game, we thought it would be a grimy game, is how we say it. It was. Our defense allowed it to be that way. And then, that last drive, some of the plays Juice made on it I thought were so big. Brock had a couple mistakes, obviously, with his two picks and stuff, but to come back on that last drive, get us in the end zone, lead us all the way down there, get to like a third guy in his progression on the touchdown. Real proud of the guys.
What can you say about Demarcus Robinson? When Kittle got hurt, and how did everybody respond?
It's always different for me just because I'm not by the bench, I'm kind of in front of everyone. Once I heard on the headsets just going over there, just felt horrible for Kittle. Jake and Luke have stepped it up for us all year, so I think guys have a lot of confidence in those guys that they could still do it and things like that. But I think everyone's just hurting for Kittle.
What can you say about Demarcus Robinson? He's so flashy throughout the season. That's the biggest thing.
D-Rob was huge. That play at the beginning of the game was big time to finish it with the touchdown. D-Rob stepped it up for us all year.
The touchdown pass from Jauan to Christian, what's that play called? When did you know you were going to call it, and why did you feel like it was going to work?
It's called Sky Bang Reverse Pass. Last time we called it was called Debo Bang Reverse Pass. We ran it in New Orleans when Emmanuel threw to Raheem, kind of the same area of the field. We were trying to set it up a little bit. We got a jet sweep to Sky earlier in the game, and I had to be on the right hash for the play because Jauan's not left-handed. So we were just hoping to get it around there. Clay suggested it. It was a hell of a suggestion, and Jauan threw a perfect ball, which made me a little scared. I thought he should just throw in a bad ball and put it on him. So I thought it was a hell of a catch by Christian, and I didn't see it, but knowing that he got roughed up and stuff just shows what a G Jauan is, high school quarterback.
Did you have to address the guys at halftime in the wake of George leaving and just kind of get their mind back in it?
No. It's football. Guys understand that, so you don't have to address that. Guys know it right away. Guys seeing George, spending time with him in there now, so but at halftime, we all came in, and so this was the exact way we wanted this game to be. Couldn't have hoped that first half went any other way. Obviously, you'd rather be blowing someone out or something, but we were happy with how it was going in the first half, and we thought we'd have the grit to finish it, and our guys did.
How many times do you have to practice a play like that, the Jauan play that has so many sort of moving parts to it during the week?
Not as much as you would think. We've had it in for a few weeks, so we always review all those stuff on Saturdays. A lot of walkthrough and stuff, so you never know how it's going to be with full speed and everything, but it's just one you kind of hold your breath on.
How much did the wind affect things? Did you need the wind downwind for that play to be called?
No, probably would have called it anyways. You'd prefer it downwind, definitely. So there's a lot of things that you prefer. The way we were going was much better for it. The field goals were better going that way, but it was still inconsistent. It's a tough place to play. The wind was swirling, but as long as you keep the ball low, sometimes you can throw it all right.
Christian talks a lot about the character of this team and how proud he is of the guys in the locker room. How would you characterize the character of this team?
Christian probably could word it better than me, but that's what I mean by how proud I am of the guys. Like all year, like I kind of felt it in OTAs. I remember saying it after week one. Just how I thought we had a special group of guys, and wasn't sure exactly how good we would be, but I knew we had a chance to be with these guys, and they battled throughout the whole year. We've overcome a lot of stuff, and to be able to come down here and get a win in our first playoff game, it's all the credit to those guys.
Kyle, when you said Kubiak suggested that, was that when the play clock is going down, or when does he make that suggestion?
Right after the play before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any? It's a wide receiver throwing in the wind, and quarterbacks are having trouble throwing in the wind. Is that into your mind?
Lots of things in our minds, but you're more hoping that it'll work and he'll be open, and you're more hoping that if it doesn't work, to please remind JJ to throw it away, because JJ thinks he can make every play known to man. but that's what you're hoping. You're just hoping it works. And if you call it versus the wrong look, kind of like we did last week when we called one a flea flicker to George and it wasn't there, and Brock just threw it to the flat to Christian. But you're just hoping something bad doesn't happen if it's not the right look. But we got the right look, and the guys pulled off a hell of a play.
Kyle, when you see the cards, obviously the worst, is the fear that George did tear his Achilles, and what's the extent of Jair's injury?
I mean, Jair's hamstring, so I mean the fact he wasn't able to come back, I'm sure he got it pretty good. So I'm sure he'd be a long shot for next week, but we'll find out more on that tomorrow. And George, the trainers knew before the card came out, so they got word to me on the headset. And yeah, torn Achilles.
Does Siegel come in for Brown because Tennock is doing the big nickel, that role?
Yes. Yeah.
How do you feel Siegel did really?
It looked like he did real well. I thought he made a couple of plays that I saw. Again, I don't get to see all of it. Check it out on the plane, but Siegel really helped us early in this year. We switched some stuff up. Hadn't gotten to get in there for a while. He's done a hell of a job on special teams, and he's been waiting and he's been practicing, doing everything. Hasn't gotten discouraged, and his moment came in the playoff game, and he was ready for it.
You mentioned the linebacker. What did you see from that? How did they kind of pull this off?
I mean, really, how well they were prepared. Just anytime you put a Mike linebacker in there, and he's got to dictate the whole defense by getting the D line set up, the coverages and everything. I thought Eric was just as expected. I mean, I've gone against Eric so much in my life, and I remember saying at the beginning of the week on Wednesday, and to the whole team, I was like, guys, I don't really know Eric that well, but I've been going against him on the silent tape forever, and that's why I feel like I do know him. And from going against him, I promise you guys, this guy's gonna be ready. That was a vibe we've always had playing against him our whole career, and that's how he handled this whole week. And he looked kind of like what I've seen going against him my whole career. He looked like that tonight, just how he drops in the hooks. I think he's always a problem for quarterbacks. Looked like he knocked that ball down at the end. And then Garrett too. Garrett was huge. I haven't gone against Garrett very much, but since he got here and played on our teams to start, he opted in a linebacker last week. I don't think they just stepped up and got through the game. I think they played at a high level, so it was really cool.
Well, I know this wasn't about a few years ago, but does it strike you that this was the room a few years ago where you had to tell us about Brock's elbow being shattered, and you were very emotional, obviously, in that game. Did you feel the emotion in this one? Does it hit you? This is the same place where all that happened?
It did the next time we came here. Like that was a tough game on us because we felt we were ready, and it was just a weird game because we lost all our quarterbacks in the first half, so it was just, and then, but that's why the last time we came here in 23 when they were 10-1 and we were 8-3, that was an emotional game about that. But this, no.
How important was Brock's ability today?
Important. It's always important. I mean, Brock, he when your rush isn't good or the play's not good, he always gives you some opportunities by extending stuff and being able to keep us out there. And he didn't get a lot of opportunities with his legs today, but when he did, he was effective.
Could you talk about Robert Saleh and his impact?
He was unbelievable today. Just the plan that he put together, keeping it somewhat simple but still challenging. Having new guys in there, you got to somewhat keep it simple. But anytime you got a quarterback with a running element, all the RPOs they do, the wideouts that they have on the outside, the talent of their running back, their tight end, it was a huge challenge, and they did a hell of a job all day with it.
How does it strike you that this might make it harder to retain Robert Saleh after the season?
I don't know. I don't get why this game would matter. Saleh's that good anyway. So, regardless of what happened today or what happens next week, it's a matter of time for Saleh as the head coach again. So,
the last game against the Seahawks was not very long ago. What are your first thoughts when you got to play up there again?
I'm glad we get another shot. They played us real well. Definitely beat us, but I know we can play better than that. So, I'm glad we got another shot.
How strongly would you prefer to play this on Sunday, not Saturday?
Very strongly, but
Strongly.
yeah, I'm expecting it to be Saturday. So, but hopefully, if the NFL's cool to an understanding, they'll make it Sunday.
We saw pictures and Gifford working out. Were either of those guys close, and where was Ricky in that mix?
Ricky wasn't close enough to work out. Those guys were. But we knew it was going to be 50-50. I mean, they didn't seem like they were ready on Saturday. So, again, it's awesome when you get another day to do it, which gave them a chance. But they were too far away.
I apologize. I asked you this on Friday. You didn't know at that point. But Fred Warner, what were the possibilities that you opened his window this coming week?
I don't know, not very high.
Trent mentioned you would be pushing the limits of kind of the time required to come back from that hamstring. When did you know that he was going to play today, and just how much of a peak was it?
I mean, he told me Sunday night there was no way he wouldn't be playing this week. So I knew how his mindset was. I knew how he attacked everything, but it was, it was his first. It was Trent's first hamstring injury, and it's very rare that you can play on a hamstring like that in this amount of time. So even though I knew he was adamant that he was going to do it, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to figure out how to do it, and obviously he did. So we're a different team with Trent out there.
Saturday night.
What's that?
Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night.
Purdy, 2 picks, but then he gathered himself in that final drive. How much, you obviously have a lot of confidence in him, but how impressed are you that he could kind of wash that away and just move on to the
So impressed because there were 2 mistakes he'd love to take back. But to play like he did on that last drive, especially after 2 throws like that, he was unbelievable. I mean, he kept letting it rip. The guy was not scared to fail at all, which you can't be to make some of those plays. And they weren't easy plays either. It wasn't like it was always number 1 or anything like that. He was going through some progressions with a really good pass rush. And I thought the touchdown to Juszczyk at the end was probably the most impressive.
Coach, what does a win like this say about the team's resilience and belief in each other?
I mean, I think it shows how they've been all year. I mean, they've been resilient all year. They've overcome a lot. They believe in each other a ton, and we knew we couldn't come in here and just win by certain guys making plays. We knew we had to come in here and win as a complete team, and I really believe we played as a complete team today, and that's why we got it done.
I mean, yeah, it was not an easy task, and obviously it's the NFL, so it never is. But for us to come in here and just do whatever it takes, man. Obviously, wish you could play a little bit better in certain areas and in certain situations, but at the end of the day, it's a 4th quarter game, and you got to go score for the season and for your team, and then obviously for the defense to go down and get a stop like that, man, was huge. So it's a team effort, it really is, and it's just cool for everybody across the board to be able to have this kind of win and celebrate together with all the stuff that we've been through, and obviously we're excited for next week too.
After throwing the 2 picks, how did you have the confidence in yourself to lead the team down to that game-winning touchdown?
I mean, the game's still there to go take, so I was just being real with myself, and obviously like leaning into my faith and understanding that, I got to hold all this loosely, but, try to go do God's will, man. And that's every drive. And so, same thing happened at the end of the game. We needed to go do it. And so I just kept my mind fresh and go play one play at a time. Every play has a life of its own. And, still have that attack mentality every single play. So that's how I did it.
Kyle said that you're not afraid to fail. Is that a mindset you have to work on in moments like that?
Definitely. Because there's been times in my career and, growing up, there's, moments where it's like, man, you got to go win it here. And in that moment, you can start thinking to yourself, like, all the worst possible, scenarios. And so just learning from those kind of things. And then so when there's a moment like this, it's like, no, like there's a moment right there for you to go take. And so being aggressive, but being smart and playing one play at a time, and obviously just believing in yourself. And for me, like, I'm a faithful man, so like at the end of the day, I leave that all up to God. So I'm going to go out there and give it my all, and see what happens after that. So that's how I view it.
What was your view of the Jauan pass to Christian? It seemed like the ball was up there for a long time.
Yeah, I was on the edge, sort of blocking, sort of not in the play. And then I look back, I see JJ get hit, and I was like, dang, dude, should I have done something about that? And then I look up, and the ball's in the air, and Christian tracked it. It was wobbling in the wind, and the fact that Christian caught it over his shoulder, dude, I was like, oh, my gosh. And I looked back to JJ, and I was like, you all right? And then celebrated. So it was a really cool play. I mean, he's a baller when it comes to that. He did the same thing in the Super Bowl, took a hit, threw it to Christian on a trick play for a touchdown. So those two are pretty cool to watch.
Like that comes in, and you're what's your feeling knowing this could be a game breaker? Obviously, a tight game, 4th quarter. What are you thinking?
Yeah, obviously, if it's there, sweet, let's capitalize. But also, telling JJ to, hey, dude, if it's not there, you can throw it away. Let's be smart. It's 1st and 10. We have 2 more downs after this. So it was one of those things. If the op's there, great. If not, let's live to see another down.
How many times did you run that play in practice roughly, and how did it go with the run?
Yeah, we ran it a good amount. We had it up earlier in the year too. Some trick plays and stuff you have in some weeks, some weeks you don't. So that was something that we sort of been working on, I guess, over the last, I don't know, however many months. But it was cool in that moment that they believed in JJ to get it done. So it was cool.
Kyle mentioned that, JJ thinks he can make every play, no matter what the look and everything. So did he give you those instructions to remind him in the huddle? Okay, it's first down, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't try to do too much.
Definitely. Like, we just came off, I forgot if the quarter, the quarter. So we flipped sides of the field. We had time to talk in the huddle and everything. And Kyle's just going through all the reminders and stuff. And I'm sitting there like telling JJ everything to be smart. But, and he knew it. He's been in these kind of situations before, and he's got that chill, demeanor. And he knew if we had to look, he's going to be aggressive. If not, he's going to be smart.
On your final pass to Christian, did you guys talk in the huddle ahead of time? How did you see him specifically cut back inside on that play? Was that design?
Yeah, it was designed. Obviously, just like he's my last guy in the progression, but if we had a certain look where he was one-on-one at the end of the play, then it was going to be there if I got to him. And so I just checked out the front side of the play and didn't feel anything, so I just stepped up and knew Christian should be right where he was, and he was. So it was just perfectly drawn up play and then executed greatly by Christian.
You were doing a lot of kind of directing before that snap, guys, maybe not in the right spot or whatnot. Were you worried at all that that play wasn't going to get off in time or wasn't going to get off correctly?
I mean, sometimes, that happens, in games. Guys sometimes hear it wrongly or whatever. And so in the moment, it was just like, all right, get your split out by D-Rob, and then we needed KB to motion over. And they knew the play at that time, but it's like getting guys in the right spot, and then obviously seeing the clock and making sure we get the snap off, and then go through your read. So, I mean, that's part of it, man. That's something that, you do in the NFL every single game. As a quarterback, you have to make sure all that's good, but at the same time, we all hold each other accountable to make sure we're doing our jobs right. So something we'll watch on the film and be better at.
How challenging was the win? How challenging was the win?
It was definitely a factor. Yeah, definitely. Just certain parts of the stadium too, the wind bouncing off our sideline and some end zones with the open side, like the wind pushing it back in. So it's definitely part of the game. Something that we talked about pregame and stuff warming up, but during the game you have to account for it for sure. It's part of it.
Christian, when that play comes in and it's to you, are you excited? What are you thinking about that move?
Just executing, man. I know we had some time to think about it, and Jauan threw a great ball, and it worked out great. It was a great time to call that play too, so it was awesome.
You're coming down a little late on that play. Did you know you just have to beat Jauan, face the team, whatever, and that's it? You're going to score, and the ball was up there pretty far and a little distant for you. What was it just to adjust to that?
Oh man, Jauan ripped it. That was in the air. Felt like for 15 seconds, but it was again just a great play call, well executed. It's a good momentum play too.
What makes this 49ers team different from all the other 49ers teams you've been on?
I don't know if they're different. I do know that this team fights, man. I think this team's never out of the fight. We can have a lot of stuff happen to us throughout the year. Some unfortunate things happen to us, but we don't blink, and I think we're consistent every day. It's something that when you're on a good team and a high character team, they're the same people every single day. We might mess up, might make mistakes, some bad plays here or there, but we don't blink and keep fighting for each other.
You lost key leaders so many times, and Kittle, outside people would say, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back at some point. But how did you guys kind of digest Kittle's injury and then continue forward like you have so many?
It's hard to do, man. This team has carried the character of George Kittle throughout the entire year, and since I got traded here, he's the heart and soul of this team, and so it's a tough loss, man. When he's not playing, it means a lot, but he's somebody that, even going through something that he had to go through and us finding a way to finish, he's the first guy in the locker room smiling, bumping music, happy for his teammates. And when you lose a leader like that, you never really lose him because his presence is still in this locker room. His energy is still here, and he's the leader and heart and soul of this team. And so we're praying for him, love him, and we're going to play for him the rest of the way.
What does a win like this do for the belief of the team moving forward that you guys are, and everybody else has to, a serious contender to win the Super Bowl?
We always believe, this team, we really block out noise, man. I mean, it's all about just getting better every day. And I don't think there's a secret sauce to what we're doing. It's just hard-nosed guys that are gritty, that show up every single day and work, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Christian, you call this team a high-character team pretty much week after week. What exactly do you mean by that?
think a team that shows up every day with the correct mentality, works really hard, doesn't make excuses, owns up to mistakes, and continues to get better. And I think that's, again, I think it's a locker room that has a lot of love for football and a lot of love for each other.
Christian, you had linebackers on this team that weren't on this team a month ago. How impressed are you that these guys in a big moment on the road stepped up huge today?
Yeah, I mean, that stuff like that is unbelievable. I think it's a testament to the room, the coaching, the system, to be able to come in here not even a month ago and not just play, but play well is a huge deal. So proud of those guys and respect the hell out of the fact that they came in here and made a lot of plays.
Christian, on a human level, that's your good friend, potentially devastating injury. Does it take a moment to during the game to kind of reset and get digest that, or we did not afford you to do that during the game?
I think you digest it after the game. You got to have, it's a weird deal when your brother goes down, but plays are called and you got to go out there and execute. Still got a game to win. And the way I see it, George wouldn't want you to harp over anything that goes on with him. He would want you to get back in there and continue to play.
Trent said you would be pushing the limits of the time it would require to get back from that hamstring injury. By him playing today, what kind of message does that send to you guys, to the team?
Again, man, when you got a guy who's in year 45 going out here and doing everything he can to come play in this game, and the speeches he gives, the energy he brings to our team, there's no excuse. It's he did everything under the sun to come back and play in this game, and did. And so again, I hate saying it, but it's not shocking. That's who he is, and that's who this team is.
Christian, that ball was in the air for so long from Jauan. The readjustment, did that help you not think about anything like Robert just because it was in there so long?
Yeah, that was a blur. Normally you don't think about anything during a play, but I felt like I had a lot of time to think. That was not easy for sure with the wind, and but again, it was a great throw. Glad he threw it. Worked out.
Last one, Cam, go ahead. Take us through the final play, through your eyes, what you saw as you were waiting for Valkyries FC.
Yeah, we ran that play all week, and Brock did a hell of a job going through his progressions and finding me late, and faked like I was going into the flat and ran a little angle route. Those are always a little bit tough because you got to win within the timing of the play. And so you don't really know how quickly he's going through his progressions, and you don't know if he's getting a pass rush or whatever, but he did an awesome job stepping up, finding some space. O-line did a great job protecting, and it's kind of wide open. So
Kim has pointed out you have thrown big passes before in big games, mostly Super Bowl. What were you thinking when that play went in and you knew it was your play?
I was just thinking, get the ball, execute, tuck the ball away, make the defense think I'm running it, and saw Christian get open and make the right pass.
JJ, if I'm not mistaken, walking in the locker room, you said you feel like you're pushing the sky. How good does this really feel?
Man, it feels incredible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to go listen to that Future song, Incredible. That's how I'm feeling. And we just got to carry on to the next game.
Trent said he thought you overthrew it a little bit. Your response to Trent Williams?
I did. I really did. I was scared for a little bit. But after I heard the screams, I'm just like, yeah, CMC had to make a great catch. Because coming off my hand, I definitely thought I threw it a little bit too far.
Have you seen the replay of the catch that he made? And if you have, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I saw just a little bit, quick action. I'm just catching a little clip. I thought it was a great catch, That's what I thought. I thought it was a great catch. He took it all the way to the ground and was very much needed.
And how proud are you of taking the rocket passer as well?
Oh, yeah, and one. You know what I'm saying? It's the and one, Man, I just feeling good, man. Brock, the whole team just puffing me up after we found out it was an and one. And went to the sideline and just celebrated with the team, man. Pumped. And for defense to come out there and finish the game the way they did, it was tremendous.
Would you get throwing opportunities like that if you go back to your days as a high school quarterback?
A little bit. Just during the play, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I was quarterback back at Blackman High School, but I snapped back in reality real quick. I'm a receiver, and I'm just out there trying to get open for Brock.
Which quarterback did you pat in your game after when you were a kid?
I had a few. I like Cam Newton, love Michael Vick. I can't think of his name. I want to say Dante Culpepper. I did like him a lot too.
Jauan, you guys as a team have been able to overcome so much this year, and again today with George going out. How are you guys able to do it?
Just relying on each other, trusting the process, trusting the play calls Kyle's giving us, and then, like I said, trusting the defense to get them off the field.
How much of that first catch by D-Rock did you guys have on that first drive?
Oh, that was amazing. You know, see bro come out there. You know, he works his tail off each and every week, and for him to get that opportunity and seize it, it was huge. And he's been wanting that, and so for him to get it, we all wanted for him. And it was a great moment.
I guess you don't get a warm-up throw or anything like that before that. How hard is it to make that throw without warming up?
I think it's more mentality more than anything. You just got to believe in yourself.
Jauan, it seems like you're having a very good time playing football, and that everybody is. Is this some of the seasons of the most fun you've had?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we went to the Super Bowl, so we got to top that. Play with a lot of great players here. See the guys get hurt, that's definitely not fun. But to win, you know, with a great group of guys who I love to enjoy time with on and off the field, that's what it's all about.
Kyle said he told Brock to remind you that it wasn't a good look and it failed away. He was a little concerned that he thought you could make any throw regardless. How hard would it have been to throw that away?
Not hard at all, man. Not hard at all. I love my job. Let's say that.
What makes this
How do you know it's the right look? Like, was there between, okay, like red light, throw it away, and green light?
Just seeing, you know, how open Christian was. You know, they just got to look downfield.
What makes this 49ers team different from other 49ers teams you've been a part of?
I would say just the grit. Not knowing the unexpected, but still coming through.
You played through your own share of injuries earlier in the season. How much does Trent playing on that hamstring, I guess, add to the morale for this team coming into the game?
I would say huge. Love Big Trent, man. That's top. That's the biggest.
You guys just played Seattle a week ago, and now you're going back. So what are your thoughts on facing those guys?
Can't wait! Can't wait!
All right, thanks, JJ.
Yes, sir.
Eric, I asked Keon while in the locker room. Obviously, Coach said that you got two new guys playing linebacker this week. But Keon was like, I mean, you're the oldest new guy in any house. To know that, you know, you told me earlier this week that you were focused on communicating. It seemed like you were successful out there. How good did this win feel? And how good did you feel being able to do that comfortable going into this game?
Felt great. You know, I haven't won in Philly in a while, so you know, it feels good for the soul. You know, obviously, under the circumstances, me and Garrett, you know, gotta give a shout out to Garrett Wallow. He was excellent in communication. I always judge other linebackers based on, you know, when things are super thick out, you know, and, you know, things aren't going our way, you know, how well you're able to communicate and how well you're able to stay calm. And, you know, he checked those boxes, you know, so shout out to him. That was a big moment for both of us, just to come in and, you know, obviously it's been next man up kind of mentality this whole year with, unfortunately, with all the injuries. And, you know, I'm just happy that we can come through for everybody.
You nor Garrett have been around with this team long, let alone working together. How were you able to get on stage? Did you do extra, stay late, any extra stuff?
Man, shout out to KJ. You know, KJ Wright. You know, I've been in kind of just knocking on his meeting door. You know, getting extra time with him since I got here. So you know, whether it's super early in the morning or after meetings, you know, I feel like he's got me prepared. We went through a bunch of situations, watched a bunch of film together. You know, he's got stamina as a coach. So you know, obviously we know what kind of player he was, but. You know, it's been nice to, you know, bounce my old playbook off him and kind of compare it to this new one and get the similarities and the differences, because that's kind of like, you know, this is my, I think, fourth defense in a row. So it's like, you know, you have to be able to compare and contrast and, you know, just get rid of the stuff that doesn't matter and kind of lock in on the new concepts. So I feel like we got a pretty good grasp of that pretty early.
Eric, you know, you played 16 games for a lot of years in this league. This year, you played a lot less than that. You look kind of fresh. Do you feel like fresher physically because you haven't played all those games?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, last year I was super hurt. You know, I was super hurt all year. Was dealing with my shoulder. It was really, really. I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until, you know, I think the first game this year and being able to use it again. But yeah, I feel great. You know, bodies feels great. You know, I just wanted to wait for that right opportunity with the right team, and you know, nothing felt too right until, you know, I got here and, you know, I got in the locker room with, you know, all the leaders that this team has. It just made, you know, it made the most sense. And, you know, I feel like I fit in with the guys right away. And, you know, I was willing to take a role that I had never taken before, you know, playing in different positions that I never played before, playing special teams. You know, it was easy because everybody on this team is so unselfish. So it was just easy for me to come in and be like, you know, check my ego at the door and just get it done for the team to win. So, you know, just shout out to the team and just everybody who's involved.
What makes Robert Saleh so special?
You know, I feel like it's the trust that he has in his players, and just the emphasis on just playing fast and physical, because that takes care of a lot of, you know, the offense's job is to try to scheme us up on defense. So, you know, by playing fast and physical, you can kind of eliminate some of the schematics of the offense and just kind of make plays. But I think it's just the trust he has in us. You know, how we're coached. You know, I've been around some great coaches in this league, and you know, I mean, there's a reason why I wanted to come to San Francisco as well to play in this defense. So, you know, yeah, shout out.
Where did you get the T-shirt? And then
I got the T-shirt in Japan. It was at a thrift store. So yeah, I feel like I get along with most people, so maybe it's not as true, you know. But I come with a good attitude, so maybe change it. What is it? You have to carry two. It's like what 10,000 yen, so like $100. Like,
can you walk us through their last offensive play and what you thought might happen and what did happen on that?
To be honest with you, I especially, you know, when the game's on the line, I'm thinking that they were going to try to get the ball in, you know, either the three playmakers' hands. You know, obviously Goddard was one of the people I thought about because he was on the hash, but I originally thought, you know, Saquon, AJ, and as soon as you know, I started dropping, you know, we were in the A gaps. As soon as I started dropping and I saw Saquon kind of go across to protect, I knew I had to get to the other hash kind of quick. I wish I would have picked it off. I should have picked it off. I usually do that, but you know, I was happy I was able to make the play and you know, get from hash to hash on that one.
Time for two more guys. By Purdy so far, as you've been able to time to there so far.
Man, I'm just so blown away with like just the leadership on this team. You know, guys like Brock Purdy are just exactly what you see. You know what I mean? Is exactly what you get in the building. You know, these guys are true professionals. You know, the best of the best. They do it the right way. You know, they hold each other accountable. You know, they show up with a great attitude. You know, they work through injuries. They work through, you know, turmoil and adversity. And I'm just blessed to be in the position I'm in.
Eric, what does a win like this do for the defense and the belief in yourselves and your unit moving forward?
Yeah, you know, I don't feel like we were lacking in any confidence, you know what I mean, at all. But it gets us to the next round, you know what I mean? It's a blessing. You know, I was out there just thinking about how many times I played in Philly and how many times I've been in the playoffs and just, you know, it's not easy to come by. So I don't want to take that for granted. You know, we're in the next round. You know, this win was sweet. I'm going to enjoy it for the next couple of hours, but you know, we want to go further. We want to do more.
It's one of the most unlikely playoff teams you've been on.
I would say it's unlikely because I was not on a team for so long, so a little bit unlikely. But you know, from the outside looking in, I think it may look super unlikely, but being in the building for, you know, the last month and some change now, it's not a question by me of why we're in the situation we're in. You know what I mean? I believe in this team.
Vibe is good. Vibe is good. Headed back to Seattle, so that's exciting. But came in this field and got it done. Hostile environment. CMC, you know, he echoed execution and physicality, and I feel like we operated in that space, so feels good.
What did you see on the reverse to Sky to Jauan to CMC?
Crazy. So I was actually the clear out, so I had to like run across so that the right side cleared up. But just an absolute wonderful play drawn up by Kyle and them. JJ got the and one, you know what I'm saying? He got the roughing the passer, so it was just an awesome play. Big in that moment for us to you know, push the lead a little bit more.
Coming into this matchup, Coach said you guys had to play desperate, and you guys have been playing desperate all season long. Was that the message coming into this one to you guys?
Yeah, it was kind of the message all year too. But just the playoffs, you know, it's more hyped up. Just a lot more on the line. It's win or go home. So just that energy we played with. Like I said again, it was really about physicality and execution. Felt like we didn't do that the week before. But Kyle was talking about we haven't lost back-to-back, so that was something important about us, and we took that to heart. And we came in here and got the win.
And did that inspiration grow after Kittle went down? Losing George Kittle, but I mean, have you talked to him?
Yeah, I talked to him. Told him I'm praying for him. Just sucks. The play was kind of weird. It didn't seem like he did nothing that crazy, but just got the news, and it sucks. Kind of the same thing that's been happening all year, and how do we respond as a team? And I think we did a good job. So he knows we support him. We know he's supporting us, and it just sucks to lose one of your best players, but we got to keep moving and just using his energy while he's off the field, while he's rehabbing. We're praying for him.
I heard you yelling in the tunnel before the game about a fast start. Did you guys have a good idea that the plan that Kyle had cooked up for that first drive, what would have the success that it did?
Yeah, it was awesome. D-Rob, my guy, came out with a huge play, yakking and running. It was just awesome. But that's always the mentality, is to try to start fast, just reiterating as a player, trying to bring positive energy. Having guys hear it sometimes goes a long way. When nobody's saying that, you never know. So just saying that throughout the game, it was important. So we started fast, and it was good for us, helped us.
What is it about this team that every week after week a guy goes down? What is it about this team that you guys don't lay over and you guys keep fighting?
Yeah, it's that power plant. No, I'm just playing. I don't know, but it just sucks. It just sucks. But we do a good job of working every day. Injuries are part of the game. It's unfortunate, but we just got to hold it down and keep that good energy, believing in ourselves, believing in the next man up. Kyle and him have a good job of having depth on the team. Jake came in, made some good plays, and we believe in the next man up.
What was your experience like with the Philly fans today, and maybe the satisfaction of maybe some of the silence at the end?
It was amazing. Shout out to the defense, man. They played wonderful, very sound around Jalen Hurts. You can tell they didn't really run past them. They executed their game plan too. So, like I said, we were in a group, as a team, execution and physicality, and it looked like we played like that. Some big hits out there and things like that. So shout out to them. But it feels good silencing those people.
To kind of follow up on the Kittle question, did that desperation at halftime kind of just grow, knowing that he wouldn't be able to come back out there?
Yeah, you see one of your best guys go down, you're like, all right, we got to pick it up. We got to, carry that weight a little bit more. We know what he brings to our team, and it's tough, but we got a good mentality. It shows when somebody does go down and how we respond like that.
Kendrick, what was more impressive, that throw from Jauan or that catch from McCaffrey?
It was both. He tracked it. CMC tracked it very well. Not an easy catch at all over his right shoulder. Just focused, but both were top tier. JJ said he broke Peyton Manning's record, so we lit it, man. You know what I'm saying? QBR, man, he's up. Yeah, I told him it reminded me of the Super Bowl when he threw that in the Super Bowl. It was dope. So just seeing plays like that are crucial in moments like that to execute.
Obviously a rough loss with George going out there. What was the talk on the sidelines to regroup?
Me and Luke Farrell, we just said, all right, here we go again. We got to step up. Super sad, obviously. You never want to lose George, but there's been situations this year where me and Luke have had to kind of take over in his absence. So we didn't panic at all. We were just like, we got to go, execute for this team.
How much did those reps back earlier in the season help you get it together today?
They're huge. I felt, every game I feel more and more comfortable, being out there and stuff. And, those reps are, invaluable because it just makes you feel that much more comfortable out there.
How do you guys emotionally bounce back from, George going down and, keeping it together while you're out there?
Yeah, you really don't got much time to dwell on it, right? So you just got to say, all right, this is the situation, this is the hand we've been dealt, and you got to go, put your best stuff out there and try and make some plays to help this team win.
Almost like the game of the season?
Yeah, guys have stepped up all over the place, both of our linebackers, Wallow, Kendricks, did a hell of a job today, so I don't think we blink in those scenarios, and that's why we keep winning.
What do you think of JJ's touchdown?
I think it was awesome. You got to love that.
How much do you still, even though George may not be on the field, need that spirit going forward for them?
Right. I'm sure he'll be, in the meeting room with us this week, encouraging us. And George is always that way when he's not playing. He's on the sideline with us, telling us what we could do better and giving us advice and stuff like that. So he'll be huge.
How would you describe Brock those last two drives, just like the mentality and kind of?
He never flinches, right? He threw a pick on the previous drive, and Brock's always going to stay calm, cool, and collected, and that's why he's our guy. So.
Do you guys, the confidence kind of carries over the rest of you guys? Or?
Yeah. His calmness in those moments, and his resilience after he makes maybe makes a bad play or throws a pick or whatever, he never really flinches. So it's super comforting in the huddle when you got a guy like that who you know is never going to give up. It's a new drive. He's in there, running the show. So.
And how great was it to have Trent Williams back out there?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, even just from his, pregame speech and stuff like that, he gets the boys going. And you just, when you're, got an all-world left tackle like that out there, that gives you all the confidence. So.
What was your takeaway with the Philly fans today? And maybe just towards the end of that game, what was the satisfaction of maybe hearing some silence there?
I mean, it was awesome. On our way in, we were, they're flipping the bird. You got to love it. You got to love the atmosphere. And there's no better place to come in and, get a dub. So.
You said it was Trent who gave that pregame speech that got you guys fired up?
Yeah, he gave he always gives a great pregame speech and at halftime too. So he gets the boys going, and we love him for that. So.
What was the message today? Anything in particular?
He's just, we're road dogs. We've been doing this all year. People have been counting us out all year. And, we haven't flinched, all year. So that was kind of the message, and he said it again today. So.
What to say about, you guys have been, dropping guys all year from injuries. To lose George today, to keep going. Why is this team able to, withstand all that?
Man, I think it's just, it's a lot, it's great coaching. It's guys, taking advantage of their moment and really preparing the best way they can, even if maybe they're not starting the game. Our guys just really take it upon themselves to be prepared, when their moment comes. So.
You were a huge part of that first drive, that scoring drive that kind of set the momentum and tone for this team. How did it feel, and then how does it feel to get the win here?
I felt great. Go out there and help the team get a dub. It felt awesome. To know the coaches got trust in me and Purdy got trust in me to throw me the ball, it felt great.
Demarcus, you have not had a game like this with the Niners. How nice is it to have a game like this in the playoffs?
I felt good. We needed some guys to step up. I was one of those guys tonight. I felt great. Like I said, it felt good that the no coach had trust in me. Throughout the week, we practiced a lot of those plays, so Purdy did too. So it felt good to go out and make some plays.
You have a unique playoff experience. You've never not gone to playoffs. Does that help, in a stage like this?
I think so. Just having experience, a lot of the guys. We do have a lot of young guys, is what I'm trying to say. We got a lot of young guys, but having experience definitely let you know what I'm saying, what type of game it's going to be. It's going to be ups and downs. You're not going to be winning the whole time, but I think everybody kind of knew what was at stake tonight, and we went out and handled business.
Obviously never a good thing to see George Kittle go down, but how did you guys rally together to keep it going?
I would say Jake came in and made a couple plays when we needed him to, We're just going to keep working. We probably are going to have to move forward without him, but we never know. See what's going to happen.
You had Juice tell a story this week that was to the young guys especially about the fact that you don't know when your next opportunity will be to play in the playoffs. And then you have Coach come in and say you guys have to play out of desperation. How much did that kind of just get you guys locked in as to what you needed to do today?
It was an amazing speech by Juice, man. He's a vet, too, in the game. All-pro guy. He knows what it takes to win, too. And Coach just backing him up, saying the same thing throughout the week. Everybody rallying behind Coach. Whatever he says, we rocking and we rolling with it. So it was a great game for us tonight. As long as them guys keep leading us, all of us, I think we'll be all right.
Does that desperation follow you to Seattle?
I hope so. Yeah.
What did you think about that throw by JJ and that catch by CMC on that touchdown drive?
We practiced it a lot. We knew JJ could throw pretty good. I don't think their team did. So once he started running a little bit and selling the run, they kind of fell off of McCaffrey, and he lobbed it up there as a great pass by him and a great track by Christian.
The fans are really, really, really passionate about this team, and it really just makes you want to beat them more. If that makes sense, because they're pretty hardcore. So it felt good to just beat them, honestly.
And look, a much vaunted defensive line on the other side. Brock you give up just the one sack, which is on that broken down play. Other than that, pretty clean pocket all night. How did that feel knowing you guys up front, Trent back, just played an awesome game?
It feels good. Had a lot of double teams on 98, but in the second half, they kind of figured it out and started getting him some one-on-ones, but we ended up holding up, so it was really good.
Did you guys hear any of the talk of 6-point underdogs and it's Philly, they're the Super Bowl champs?
Yeah, my brother. He's like, my brother last night at the hotel. He's like, yeah, it went from 3 to 6. I was like, dude, why are you even telling me that? I was like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. That's a pretty big jump. I was like, I don't care. We just got to go play ball. So yeah, out of all people, my brother.
Just your quick reaction, seeing George go down and obviously the card coming out, what was going through your head?
I was sick to my stomach because he's a cornerstone of this franchise. He's one of the key pieces to this offense, and losing him in Philly what quarter was it?
Second quarter.
Yeah, early in the game. it's tough, man, because he's just a great teammate, probably the best teammate, and you hate to see him go down. Just also because he's a superstar tight end. But on the flip side, it makes you want to play more for him. And, I think we did that. I think we bunched together and just played for him that game.
Go win it, and that meant a lot. And guys just continue to step up and find ways. Even when we lose our best players, and we did enough to get the win.
Kyle, you take the loss to Seattle. You tell this speech in the locker room to the guys to kind of help them understand the importance of the playoffs and seizing the moment. And then Coach comes in and says you guys have to play out of desperation. Now you guys are headed back to Seattle. How much of this carries over into that game?
So much. And I think we have to take that exact mentality into Seattle that, again, like we just lost George, that hurts. And it could be a really good, it'd be a real easy excuse for us to say, all right, that's finally the last straw that's going to keep us from doing this thing. But you just can't have that mentality. Like, you just never know where you're going to get this opportunity. We're in the divisional round of the playoffs. There's only so many teams left in this league, and we're one of them. So we're going to go out there and give everything we got.
Is it almost like the theme of the season, and you just keep
Absolutely.
rolling?
Absolutely. That really has been the theme, with the amount of injuries we've had to deal with, and guys just continue to step up.
Now, when the play call came in the first play of the fourth quarter, the pass by Jauan, what did you think?
I was so fired up. I knew just by the motion on the play what play was coming. That was the only play we had that looked like that pre-snap. And as soon as the ball got tossed back to Jauan, I looked to Christian, and I could see that their safety had come down, and he was going to run right past him, and I knew it was a touchdown right there.
Yeah. I mean, how long have you guys been working on that play in practice? That's something that's big.
We've had that play for years, and we've practiced it every week this entire season. And we finally just got it called up, and came down big time.
Did you know that Jauan had that kind of arm?
Yes, actually. I'm pretty sure he was a high school quarterback, and we've seen him throw it in practice, so he can definitely spin it. And, pretty hilarious that a wide receiver drew a roughing the passer.
Considering the youth of your defense, and just Kyle even said you signed two guys that weren't on this roster to play linebacker a month ago.
Insane.
Your thoughts watching them come up with stop after stop?
Just incredible. Just an incredible effort. Just grittiness. The ability to just trust one another and go out there and play fast. And you saw so many people step up. The two linebackers, like you talked about, I believe Tig went down, and we saw Siegel back in there making big plays, and they just continue to do it, man. And I just think Saleh's done such a great job of just putting together a collective unit.
He motivates those guys. He knows how to deliver his message in a way that stimulates the group, and they play for each other. They play together.
And Trent, just a word on Brock, like the 2 picks tonight, but then comes out and leads that touchdown drive, like the way he just stays level, seems phenomenal to me.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, that's a big part of his makeup, and that's the reason why he is Brock Purdy, and he's made himself a household name for the 7th-round pick. That resolve, that ability to be able to bounce back, and never get too high, never get too low.
I apologize because I know you've probably been asked, but I noticed that you kind of stood near George longer than most when he first went down. Just that first moment, what you thought when you saw him lying there?
Just in disbelief. George is like a Superman around here. Just kind of in disbelief. I just wanted to say a quick prayer for him. Just hoping for the best. And, just really wanted him to know I was there for him.
The way the season has gone and the injuries that have already occurred, do you guys feel like you're battle tested for that because of what you've already endured?
100%. Like I said earlier, we went through that with Fred. I think Bosa's injury was not as on the forefront, right? He got hurt. I didn't even know until halftime. But seeing Fred lay down and lay there on the ground, and the condition he was in, I think it was hard for the team to shake back out of that. And I think that made us stronger for stuff like this. Kittle going down first half. I think if we didn't have experience with that, it would have been easy for everybody to fold, and nobody would have blamed us. They said, hey, they don't have this player, they don't have that player, they probably should lose.
Unhappy you're JJ showing off the arm again. What was it like with that?
He always had a great arm, but honestly, I thought he overthrew it. I thought the wind took it a little bit. But CMC turned on the burners, man. It's just a a really high-level play by two high-level players.
Trent, just the emotions of having another week with this group of guys, the depth, the chemistry that you have, to have another chance to now have Seattle coming up.
Yeah. I mean, that was the message the whole week. Pre-game, just fight for another week. You know, you got to earn another week with your brothers, and and that's what we did. So it's on to Seattle. It's another divisional matchup, and we got to get ready for it.
Just wondering, what kind of message does it send about this franchise to these young guys on the team for you guys to fight through so much adversity and lose a guy like George Kittle tonight in a big game against a tough defense and still find a way to win?
Right. I just think, for them just to see what the culture that we built here, and we lead by example, so it makes it easier for the young guys to come in and fit in and kind of know what they're supposed to do. We do have a veteran group, a veteran core, so I think that helps.
What role does Kyle play in like making sure all the pieces fit as guys come in and out?
Say that again?
So what role does Kyle kind of play to make sure all the pieces are fitting as guys have to come in and out with injuries?
Yeah, coach. I'm pretty sure you play a big part in it. That's above my pay grade, though. I try not to worry about what I got to do. But like Kyle's one of the best coaches in the league. He is the best coach in my opinion. And he always has a plan, and he's always trying to put us in the right position.
Setting the example, you working so hard to get back this week as well.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's an example. I don't know, but yeah, I think it was just for me. I definitely wanted to be here for the team, even if I couldn't be 100%. I just wanted to go out there and just test my limits, and it'd be hard for me to sit out a playoff game, So, hopefully you guys pick up on that, but I did it for the team, really. So.
How did you feel quieting the Eagles crowd out there?
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing.
As you were walking back here after the game, it kind of just felt like this one might have meant a lot to you. Maybe just a little extra special for you, just being banged up and all that. Just going into the game and soaking it in after, like for you personally.
Yeah.
How did this game mean to you?
It meant a lot. It was a lot of I wouldn't say mental gymnastics, but it did have a big effect on me because I didn't know how long my leg would hold up. I knew that I was coming back early, and I knew that there was a huge chance of a reoccurrence. So to me, just trying to block that out and just go until I can't no more. So yeah, after we won the game was a sigh of relief, and just super proud of this team.
Was that at all motivated by the story Juice told earlier this week, or you just naturally have that motivation to get out there and fight?
Yeah, honestly, unfortunately, make sure Juice didn't hear this, but I didn't hear the Juice speech. So, I think I was in there getting treatment.
Where were you?
So I missed that.
Right.
I was getting treatment.
Now, you as a veteran know that sometimes it's a long road to get to a playoff game.
100%. And I think this is my 6th time in the playoffs in 16 years, so if anybody know how hard it is, I definitely do.
Last question for you, Siegel. He starts, loses his starting position, comes back in this game and has the game-changing tackle that really shakes up Saquon Barkley and turns the tide for their offense.
Yeah.
What can you say about Siegel?
Man, he balled out. Him and Wallow, super proud of both of those guys. Obviously, Eric Kendricks, we know what he can do. I've played against him for a long time, so I expected him to ball like he did. But, for Siegel, just to be ready, to always be ready, and to not only come in and play great, but to come in and make game-changing plays. Can't say enough about him. Obviously, he was a starter, and then we got guys back. So it's not like he lost his position. We've always had faith in him. We knew he was a heck of a player. It just adds to the depth of our safety.